like ants in a tunnel.
The sister of Statue of Liberty.
This place is the nearest place to heaven. Even the bee want to eat it.
Tallest and the most grandest we have ever seen. And it is very, very interactive.
And the fifth one is inverted.
If your lifelong dream is to head up the Eiffel Tower, if you can see what is behind us, you will know that we are in our sixth country, France, and we are in Paris. So coming to Paris was quite a long journey from Luxembourg. We took a 2.5-hour bullet train all the way to the Paris station, and the public transportation here in Paris is a little bit confusing. According to our research, Paris actually split into 5 zones. If you are traveling out of zone 1 and 2, it will be slightly more expensive. So for us, because we are taking more than 4 trips, we opt for a day pass, which is their Mobilis pass. Normally, if you buy a single trip ticket, you can actually use it for 90 minutes, but they have various rules in terms of what you can transfer to. So for example, you can't really transfer from a metro to a tram. And I think tram to tram is fine, tram to bus is fine, metro to bus is also fine. So yeah, it can get a little bit confusing. You can also buy some kind of like a card for €2, and there you can buy the individual tickets as well as 10 tickets, which is slightly cheaper. So yeah, a lot of different passes, a lot of different tickets. It took us about 2 hours to figure it out.
And now we bought a day pass.
The day pass, if you take more than 4 trips, you would have made your money worth. So now that we are here, it's pretty crowded. This is probably the best spot where you can view the Eiffel Tower that is near the Eiffel Tower. We didn't pre-purchase our tickets up to the tower, and there's a capacity limit and they're limiting people from going to the top. So at most we can go to the second level now, which we are opting not to head up. So what are some of the fun facts about the Eiffel Tower?
So apparently Eiffel Tower has changed its color multiple times. Initially was yellow, and then after that different shade of browns, and ultimately this Eiffel Tower brown for many years. And next year they will change to another color due to the Olympic Games. I think it will change to gold next year. And before I come here, I didn't know that inside Eiffel Tower is so busy. You can see a lot of people walking up to the tower like ants in a tunnel.
Yeah, it seems that you can't really see the lift all the way up, you have to walk it up. Although I think the stairs is not really very steep. But yeah, there's a lot of people climbing up, and at the observatory you can see a lot of people as well. And that's why they are limiting the number of people heading up to the top. And if your lifelong dream is to head up the Eiffel Tower, you better pre-purchase your ticket. But if you are in the Eiffel Tower, you won't be able to see the Eiffel Tower. So
I think that's all about Eiffel Tower. It's a pretty crowded day, but it's a good weather now.
Finally it stopped raining. Behind us is the Statue of Liberty. So we didn't teleport to New York, we are still in Paris. And this is a quarter-scale Statue of Liberty, and it is a gift from the American Association to Paris. The actual Statue of Liberty is a gift from France to the United States, and this is a gift from the Americans to the French. If you have no time to head to New York and you are in Paris, you can come and see the sister of Statue of Liberty.
And it is pretty near to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
You can see Eiffel Tower from here.
Okay, we will head on to our next attraction and we will see you when we get there.
Bye bye!
Here at our next attraction in Paris. This is the Basilica of the Sacred Heart, and it is a very nice church perched on top of the hill.
Some little fun fact about Basilica of Sacred Heart. This is the most visited religious building in Paris. At the same time, it also has the largest bell in Paris.
A tip when coming up to the Basilica of Sacred Heart is that you can either climb up the stairs or you can sit a funicular up. And if you have bought the Mobilis Day Pass, the funicular trip is actually covered within the Day Pass. One of the reasons why we come here is because it has a 360-degree view of Paris city.
Since we've missed the highest spot in Paris, we come to the second highest spot in Paris, which is here.
Yeah, so if you want to catch a sight of the Eiffel Tower, this is the place to be. In order to head up here, we need to purchase a €7 entrance ticket, and that is not the difficult part. The difficult part is that we have to climb 293 spiral stairs up, and it is quite an exhausting climb.
In the olden days, this place is the nearest place to heaven.
So after climbing 293 steps,
We're almost reaching. The wall behind me is not a simple wall. Since we are in the city of love, the wall behind me is the wall of love. It actually shows how to express love in 250 languages. You will see the red color pieces everywhere on the wall. If you merge all the red color pieces together, it will be a symbol of love. Have you ever watched the famous movie by Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor? This is Moulin Rouge. It doesn't seem exactly the same as what has been shown in the movie, but this building has a lot of history too. This was the first electric building. This place is also the birthplace of the high kick can-can dance. So it is widely known that French is famous for their dessert and their pastry. Yesterday with Google and we found this bakery. I think it is really a very good bakery because there's a never-ending queue. From the Google review, they are famous for their baguette. The outer layer of the baguette is, as expected, very crispy, very crunchy. The inner layer is very soft and is a bit moist as well. For this baguette, you don't need to put any filling. It is good enough. Very good. Other than the baguette, we also bought the chocolate outlet because this is one of our favorite pastry. It is very airy and fluffy. The amount of chocolate is just nice. You can tell from the bee flying. It's so sweet. The bakery has a lot of bee, I also don't know why. But this chocolate outlet is definitely above average. Even the bee want to eat it. We need to switch location because just now the bee was too hungry. Other than the chocolate outlet and a baguette, we also bought a chocolate eclair. We bought this because we saw a review mentioned that this is the best eclair she has ever eaten. We cannot miss this even though this is not cheap. The moment of truth. Inside the eclair, it is full of chocolate custard. The top layer cream is slightly sweeter than the custard. Overall, this is also an above average eclair.
today, the very first attraction is the Pantheon. It is a very calm place and it's really very grand.
Yes, the stone carving, painting on the wall are very well maintained.
Yeah.
That's so amazing.
And it is way bigger and grander than we expected. Definitely worth it to come here.
In the center of Pantheon, you will see a gigantic iron pendulum. Pantheon is the place where Leon Foucault proved that the Earth rotates.
So this is actually not the original pendulum. The original one has already been shifted, but they do a replica so you can actually see where the spot was at.
Pantheon also offers a very nice panorama view of Paris city.
Yep, so we are heading there now and we will see you when we get there.
Bye bye.
We are now at Saint Chapelle and it is a very nice place to visit. The upper part of the church has very beautiful and tall stained glasses.
Yes.
And I think it's the tallest and the most grandest we have ever seen. A fun fact, it is only made out of 5 colors. It's really very full. And there's also a 87 petal rose, which is also made out of glass. Yeah, the whole area is definitely worth the visit if you are here in Paris. So we have got the 2 days Paris Museum Pass, and it covers quite a lot of attractions here in Paris. And the plan is to fully utilize the passes to visit a lot of attractions here in Paris. So today is day 1 and we have just went to the Pantheon and also now the Saint-Chapelain. We will be heading to our next attraction, which is just next door. And we will see you when we get there. Continuing on our third attraction of the day, this is the Conciergerie, and it used to be a palace as well as a prison. The fun thing about this attraction is that they give you iPad which serve as a guide, and it is very interactive. There's nothing much to see without the iPad because it is just empty hallways and empty areas, but with the iPad you can actually see what it was like during the time when it was being used as a palace as well as the prison. We also learned quite a lot about the French Revolution, the life of the prisoner as well as the last Queen of France. Pretty informative attraction, and this attraction is probably one of the better ones because of the guide that they have provided. It's actually quite interesting. Most of the attraction we visited is merely an audio guide, but this is a very interactive guide, very special. Definitely, if you have the time and if you are just visiting the Saint-Chapelain, just come over to visit if you're on the museum pass.
In fact, this is the oldest prison in France.
Supposedly it has the oldest clock, but we tried to find it and we couldn't find it anywhere. Okay, we will be heading to our next attraction and we will see you when we get there.
Bye bye.
And we are now done visiting our next attraction here in Paris, and this is the Picasso Museum Paris. And I got to say, we are not really talented in art. We totally don't really know how to appreciate them, but we did went to the Van Gogh one and we appreciated it. So we'll show you a few of the artworks that we have recorded, and you'll be the judge whether you are artistic in nature or not. But for us, no.
So even though Picasso is famous for abstract painting, but I'm quite surprised that he actually drew a lot of proper painting. Like
All the painting are supposed to be proper. We are just not really talented in art, I guess. Yeah, we don't know how to appreciate it. They do have some descriptions for each of the picture, but even after reading them, it's really too abstract and too complex for us to appreciate them. So you can take a look at some of them and decide whether it's worth it or not for you to come visit it. We will be heading to our very last museum of the day, and we will see you when we get there. Bye-bye. We are just done visiting our very last attraction of the day, the Louvre Museum.
it is massive.
Yeah.
There are a lot of antiques, paintings, sculptures, and even an apartment inside.
The apartment is very grand and it rivals the one in Windsor Castle.
That's my favorite part of the museum.
So the main attraction is of course the painting Mona Lisa, and it's very crowded without a proper queue, so people just crowd around and then try to move forward. But you will eventually get forward and you're able to snap some pictures, although it probably won't be very nice because other people will be inside your picture. Yeah, because it's a very crowded place, everybody just crowd around, so there's not much space for you to take a photo with the painting. So we spent a total of 2.5 hours inside and we skipped a lot of the exhibits. Like most of the museum, we have learned to do homework before that and to visit only must-see exhibits within the museum. So we cut a lot of time, but because the exhibits are all around the place, so there's still some walking to do. And as you can see, it's actually a very big museum. So from the side all the way down, this is only the top level, there's still like 2 basements.
This is the largest museum in the world.
So what are some interesting facts about the Louvre Museum?
The Louvre was originally initially built as a fortress. In 16th century, it became a royal palace, and in 1781, it became a museum, which is the museum that we see today. We all know about this pyramid. This is called the Ayam Pe Pyramid, but beside it, actually, there are 3 small pyramids as well. They are all created to give the museum sufficient lighting, and there is the 5th one. The 5th one is at the exit of the museum.
Yeah, which is a shopping center called the Carousel at Louvre.
And the 5th one is pretty interesting because it's inverted. So do not forget to visit all 5 pyramids when you are here.
It's definitely a place to visit if you are here in Paris, but maybe pre-purchase your ticket, because even after we book a time slot at 4 o'clock, we still need to queue, and we ended up waiting for about 30 minutes before we enter the museum. And if you really want to see a lot of the exhibits, I think you need maybe a full day if you really want to see every single one. But of course, if you are not staying for long, then do the pre-work and only visit those that are important. Maybe if you are early and you manage to secure early slot, rush to Mona Lisa first, because we spent about 30 minutes trying to get in front of the crowd.
Do not miss the Napoleon apartment.
Yeah, that's also really nice. Thanks for joining us today here in Paris. We will see you tomorrow. Bye. Time for dinner, 7 p.m. It's still so bright. And as you can see behind us, it is the stained glasses. Uncolored.
The cabin all to ourselves.